the blueprint for wealth, freedom, and happiness. What if everything you've been taught about success was only half the story? What if working harder isn't the path to becoming wealthy? And what if happiness isn't something waiting for you at the finish line, but something you can practice today? This is the philosophy of Naval Ravikant, an immigrant who arrived in America with almost nothing and became one of Silicon Valley's most respected entrepreneurs and investors. But unlike many successful people, Naval didn't keep his lessons to himself. He shared them freely, and those ideas were eventually collected into a single book, the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. This isn't a book filled with motivational slogans. It's a manual for building a life where wealth, freedom, and peace of mind exist together. So, before we begin, ask yourself one question. If money were no longer a problem, how would you choose to spend your life? Because that's exactly where this journey begins. Chapter 1. Money isn't wealth. Since childhood, we've all been told the same story. Study hard, get a good job, work for decades, retire someday. Then you'll finally enjoy life. But Naval challenges this entire formula. He says there's a huge difference between money and wealth. Money is simply a tool. It moves from one person to another. It comes and it goes. Wealth is different.
Wealth is what continues creating value, even while you're asleep. A business, a software product, a book, an investment portfolio, a YouTube channel, a website, anything that works without demanding every hour of your life. That's why the truly wealthy don't just earn income, they own assets. Because your time will always be limited, but your assets don't have to be.
The real goal is freedom. Most people think they want money. Naval says they're mistaken. What they actually want is freedom. The freedom to wake up without an alarm. The freedom to choose who you work with. The freedom to say no. The freedom to spend your life on things that actually matter. Money is simply the bridge. Freedom is the destination. The secret schools can't teach. One of Naval's most powerful ideas is something he calls specific knowledge. It's not a university degree. It's not memorizing facts. And it's not something that can easily be copied. Specific knowledge is your unique combination of talents, curiosity, experience, and creativity. Maybe you're an exceptional storyteller, a brilliant designer, a talented programmer, a persuasive communicator, or someone who naturally solves difficult problems. The marketplace doesn't reward people who are identical. It rewards people who are impossible to replace. The more unique your skills become, the more valuable you become. The internet changed everything. Never before in human history has one person had access to billions of people. Years ago, building a company required enormous capital. Today, a laptop and an internet connection can be enough.
millions. One app can become a global business. One online course can generate income for years. Technology has removed countless barriers. The opportunity exists. The only question is, who will take advantage of it? Reputation is compound interest for your character. Imagine losing every dollar you own tomorrow. Would people still trust you? Would they still want to work with you? Would they still recommend your name? If the answer is yes, you're wealthier than you think. Naval believes reputation is one of the greatest assets anyone can build. Money follows trust. Opportunities follow credibility. And credibility takes years to earn, but only seconds to lose. Reading is time travel. Every great book contains decades of someone's experience, compressed into just a few hundred pages. When you read, you're borrowing another person's lifetime. Their mistakes, their victories, their wisdom, without paying the full price they paid. That's why Naval considers reading one of the highest return investments you'll ever make.
Stop playing the comparison game. Every day, social media shows us perfect vacations, luxury cars, successful businesses, beautiful lifestyles, and slowly we begin believing we are falling behind. But you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel. That's a game nobody wins. Instead, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Real progress isn't measured against strangers. It's measured against your past self. Happiness is a skill.
Perhaps Naval's most surprising lesson has nothing to do with money. He argues that happiness is something you practice, not something you purchase. People spend their entire lives chasing the next achievement, the next promotion, the next $1 million, the next dream house, believing happiness lives on the other side of success. But once they arrive, they discover the finish line simply moves again. Because happiness doesn't come from having more. It comes from wanting less, from accepting reality, from letting go of unnecessary desires, and from creating peace inside your own mind.
Health is your greatest investment. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose a business and build another. But your health doesn't always give you a second chance. Sleep, exercise, nutritious food, mental clarity. These aren't luxuries. They're the foundation upon which every other success is built. Without health, wealth loses much of its meaning. Life is built, one decision at a time. No one becomes successful overnight, and no one destroys their future in a single day. Life changes quietly, through small choices. The books you read, the habits you repeat, the people you spend time with, the skills you choose to develop. Every decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. Final thoughts.